What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe. No Days Off DFS here, bringing that NBA slate breakdown for how many games we got today? We got 7 game NBA main slate. Let me say main because we do have some early games going on right now. But we got 7 game main slate over here on DraftKings that we're going to be breaking down starting at 7 o'clock tonight. So if you guys new here, you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content rolling out over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if it helps you guys win some money. Hopefully you guys were able to win some money after yesterday's breakdown. Really, I told you guys just looking at it that the shorthanded Miami Heat really felt like at least maybe 2 to 3 of them were going to be needed inside of our lines, and that happened to actually be what was needed, was having at least 2 to 3 of the Miami cheap guys, because all of them actually paid off value. I know in my core I had Drew Smith and Highsmith as the main two that I really wanted to get to, and of course getting Drew Smith at low ownership, dropping at least 20 plus sub 3.5 value was really good, and then Highsmith just really I was on him over who is it Duncan Robinson, who they had at the power forward position, which I don't know why they had him at the power forward, but I really was high on Duncan Robinson. And then it kind of was a no-brainer, go ahead and play Bam. And of course, once we got the news that Dame was out, Giannis, I said it, if Dame's out, Giannis is like pretty much smash spot, smash play. So went ahead and played that. And the only thing that killed me, again, I got killed by after lock news, Marco Fultz being ruled out. That zero completely crushed and killed my lineup because I had value. I had my studying on it, but of course taking a zero, like I had to take from a 5-3 player when I could have got maybe some different value. I tried to get different. Didn't I pivoted off of taking Suggs to go ahead and be able to play Markel Fultz a little bit cheaper, and then I played Beasley. Beasley didn't pan out for me, so that really just ruined my lineup myself. So hopefully you guys didn't make the same mistakes that I made, but still was actually able to cash out on the slate. This ticket that I put out yesterday, I didn't like a lot of props on yesterday's slate. I only put out what I was comfortable with, which was a 6 flex ticket, and I even said, you could pair this up to some power twos. I had 3 NBA plays. I had 3 college football plays. College football smashed. All 3 of them killed it. 2 of my NBA plays smashed, killed it, no issues, no problems. The one, good old Draymond Green getting ejected, really screwed me up. And then Darius Garland not able to get any assists. I had Draymond Green and Darius Garland over that 13.5 assist mark, and it just wasn't ready. Could not hit that really great that good 25x on the 6 pick, but nonetheless still doubled up, so not bad. We will take that, and we'll roll it into today. Sunday slates, I tend to go lighter just because Sundays, funky things happen on Sundays. I'm not going to bring any biases into this today, but hopefully we can go ahead and cash out and make some money on this Sunday. So if you guys are ready for that, let's go ahead, let's get into this breakdown, starting with injury report. First game on the slate, first game on the dot, we got Dallas taking on the Pelicans. For Dallas, Maxi Kepler, he is out. For New Orleans Pelicans, Herb Jones is a game time decision. We already know that CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, all of them are out. Zion is expected to be back. BI is back. We just need news on if Herb Jones is in or out. We looks like Hawkins, he is going to actually be starting for the Pelicans. Again, he's made my shit list. I will not play Hawkins, even if he's like dirt minimum price, 3K. I would never play that man again. He just completely just pisses me off. Stands in the corner sometimes, does nothing. That's another rant for another day. For the Detroit Pistons, it looks like they're going to be without Jalen Duren, Joe Harris, Lively, Bogdanovich, Jaden Ivey, Alec Burke. They said that they're game time decisions, but I doubt that they're going to play. I think Ivey's just been sick over the last couple games, but that's giving us some value off the bench. So pretty much we're looking at a shorthanded Detroit Pistons team going up against a pretty good, decent defense that we've attacked throughout the season so far, and the Chicago Bulls. For the Bulls, Patrick Williams is expected to pay Alec Caruso. He's a game time decision. Want to pay attention to that. I mean, it's going to affect maybe Kobe White's minutes, bench minutes, and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy, because always for the Bulls, it's just the big 3, and Vooch, DD, and Zach. Oh, here for Houston taking on the Denver Nuggets. Of course, Kankar, Jamal Murray, they're out. We already know where the usage and everything's going on this team. And then for Houston, Amen Thomas, he is out. And Victor Oladipo is out still. For Miami, Jimmy Butler is a game time decision. He did not play yesterday. I would expect Jimmy to play today. Tyler Hero is still going to be out for them. Definitely pay attention to Miami. Possible that we might get some news in regards to, hey, maybe they might want to rest Kyle Lowry on the second end of the back-to-back, since they rested Jimmy Butler yesterday. So definitely check that out, or maybe Bam. But definitely we'll pay attention to this Miami news, because again, the value that we can actually still get in players, Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, Jaquez Jarve, something, however the heck you say his name, Jr. off the bench. That'll definitely be players that we're going to want to pay attention to in regards to that for Miami. And going up against San Antonio Spurs, who is a young team, weak defense that we can still go ahead and attack. Trey Jones is game time decision. Plays off the bench, really so-so, not that crucial of news, but definitely something to pay attention to. For OKC, Kendrick Williams, he's still out. Everyone's good for OKC. And then on the for the Suns, Devin Booker is doubtful to play. Bradley Beal, game time decision, should be playing. I don't believe that Phoenix is on any type of back to back, but I will confirm that when we switch over to DraftKings just to be sure. But I would imagine that Beal is going to play. He's been playing the past couple games. For the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards is game time decision, expected to play. Naz Reid, game time decision as well. Pay attention to that. That is more interesting than anything else. Other than that, everyone's good. And then the Warriors are on the second leg of a back-to-back. Everyone played last night, and everyone, from what I've seen, Steve Kerr, they're supposed to be playing again today, but definitely pay attention to that news. For Portland, we already know that bum-ass Michael Brogdon, who doesn't know how to warm himself up, he's going to be out tonight. Scoot is still out. Simons is out, and Wainwright, not like it really matters. So we should actually fully see Skylar Mays actually start at the point guard position. Shaden Sharp, Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton going up against the Lakers. LeBron James is currently right now a game time decision. I would definitely pay attention to that because if LeBron is out, AD is like the lock of the day. Straight up. I mean, I already liked AD anyway, going up against DeAndre Ayton defense, who he should actually smash. That first game back only played 30 minutes, and then if Bron's going to be out, I would expect him to play upwards of like 35, 38 minutes in this spot. We have continuously attacked Portland. Their defense is piss poor. It's nothing that we have to worry about too much whenever we're picking up players against them, but I definitely would want to pay attention to that right there for the slate. All right, heading over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on the site. That's been decent to us throughout the season. If you guys do not have a DraftKings account, check the link down in the description below. And while you're down there, if you're looking for my core plays, my cheat sheet, my player props, any other stuff besides my stuff, I have guys that are hitters over here that I work with for No Days Off. If you're looking for all that stuff, the promo code ends this week for you to get a month for free. So definitely check that out if you guys are looking for that. Right now, it is free. If you sign up, you get a whole month for free. After that, on the 15th, prices will start to kick in. So definitely go ahead and join while you guys can. And you might as well go ahead and get a free month and just see what we're all about. Go ahead and make some money with us over here at the No Days Off group. All right, so first game on the slate, we got Miami taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Like I said, we definitely want to pay attention to starting lineups if anybody is going to be out or rested. Straight out the gate, of course, until we get the Jimmy Butler is going to be in or out news. Which let's go ahead. Let's make sure Jimmy's not like injured. Saturday, Hawks due to personal reasons. So if he's still not with the team for personal reasons or whatever it is that they're keeping him out, then of course that's going to put all those guys that were in consideration yesterday right back into it. Duncan Robinson, Jaquez Jr., Highsmith, all these guys, and coming down to my boy Drew Smith. Drew Smith, I like him either way because he's going to back up Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Lowry, he's old. I would expect him possibly not to play the same high-ish 30-plus minutes that he played last night. So I would expect more minutes for possible the bench rotation like Drew Smith. He played 33 minutes last night, so maybe they keep him around that 32, 33 minutes again. But still, Drew should still back him up, especially with no Tyler Hero. So I definitely do have a lot of interest in the value pieces from Miami. Either way, even if Jimmy's in, I still will have interest in Highsmith. I'll still have interest in Drew. I'll have interest in Jaquez, all these guys. Duncan Robinson is the only one I really wouldn't have too much interest in because he is more scoring dependent. And as long as they have him at the power forward position, he's not the value power forward over Highsmith, who literally is a better fantasy point per minute producer whenever he's out there on the court. Going over to the San Antonio Spurs, taking on the other side. Will be interesting to see exactly how this is going to go for this side. Really, to me, the only one that sticks out, of course, is going to be none other than us looking at Wemby. Of course, Wemby sitting at 8.4. Price hasn't really gone up or gone down, staying in that 8K range. I don't mind him. We know he can pop off for a possible great game. It's all just going to depend on if he's going to actually play the minutes. Whenever he plays upwards of 30 minutes, he has pretty good games. Outside of that, don't mind looking at plays maybe like a Devin Vassell. Decent spot position for him. Shooting guards going up against Miami. They've done pretty decent. We just seen DeJounte Murray last night, 45 fantasy points. Desmond Bane, 32. Austin Reeves, this was his big bounce back game that he finally had for the season, 52 fantasy points. So Devin Vassell, we know he's going to go out there and shoot. He's a big part of the offense. Don't mind running, going with that. Now, if Bam was to sit or anything like that, definitely will take a stab at Zach Collins out there as well. And you can take a flyer on Showchan if you even want to mess with that right there. Going over to the Detroit Pistons taking on the Chicago Bulls. Like I said, they got a lot of players that are going to be out. So this shit is some value. We already know that Marvin Bagley, he should go ahead and start at the center position. The only thing that worries me is his minutes. He really hasn't played, even whenever he started for Duran being out, he hasn't played 30 minutes yet. which is really just weird to me. Well, he's played 30 minutes once going up against Portland, but outside of that, he hasn't played the 30 minutes, and Duren's missed quite a couple of games. So hopefully, maybe he can get a longer leash here. His size might be needed going up against a player like Vooch. Either way, he still grades out as a very good value play, under 5K, 4.9. We know he's going to get the start. He should get pretty decent burn. Now, the player that I normally go to, which is Sasir, especially with Jaden Ivey being out, he's priced up way too much for me at 5'8", coming off the bench. Yeah, he may play close to 30 minutes, but not worth the price tag right there, in my own opinion. I'm not going to mess with that. Outside of that, only other player that has some consistency, decent, as long as he stays out of foul trouble, would be Cade Cunningham. Definitely knows he's possible of a 50 burger, but not a must. Definitely something that you can consider. But out of that, only one over there for Detroit that we really need to focus on is going to be Marvin Bagley, just for the value. And if you want to take a stab at James Wiseman, that's definitely valuable and doable. Going over here to the other side for Chicago, of course, the big three, like we always say, look at the ownership, figure out which one's going to be least owned. Normally, that's the one that'll go off. Zach LaVine, Vooch, DeRozan, they're all in really great spots. Pretty cool. I will say another value play that you can possibly go to. Now, I understand he is a very low fantasy point per minute producer. He is starting for Patrick Williams since he was struggling. You can take a stab at Torian Craig. Understand, he's not going to give you anything sexy. If he at least goes out there and plays 20 minutes, maybe he can go out there and get you about 15 fantasy points, and that's if he's able to rack up some steals and some defensive stats and get some rebounds and stuff like that. But outside of that, do not expect too much from Torian Craig. Definitely a punt option, but you really shouldn't need to do that on what is really definitely going to be considered a pretty decent-sized big slate. All right, going over to the next game, we got Dallas taking on the Pelicans. For Dallas, we already know Luka Doncic. He's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth option. If you can fit Luka on today's slate, if you can fit Luka and the Joker, which are pretty much like two of the higher fantasy point per minute producers and the uses that they have with their teams, you go ahead and you try to do that. Now, if you can't, definitely understandable. It's fine. You don't have to. But definitely Luka in his own right always typically goes off. A good spot going up against the Pelicans. We've seen opposing point guards. They've been pretty decent going up against them. They've all put up some pretty decent numbers. Those that have a good high usage rate have all eclipsed over 40 plus fantasy points. And we already know Luka, he is one of those players that has a high usage rate whenever he's out there on the court. So definitely do have some consideration for Luka at the 11-8. It is going to be the decision of, am I going to play Luka or am I going to play the Joker? In all honesty, the scale tips more in favor of the Joker, considering the usage, the matchup, and everything that he has going for him, the triple double upside as well as what Luka has. So definitely would consider the Joker over Luka if I'm going there. Outside of that, Kyrie, I really don't want to mess with that. Maybe you could take a stab at Lively, as long as he's good to go for this game. If he's going to actually go out there and play 30-ish minutes, they should need his size going up against Jonas Valanciunas and Zion Williamson. We have seen opposing centers have had really good games. The Joker dropped 79 on the Pelicans. Rudy Gobert dropped 48. Alfred Sengun dropped 42. And these are the last three that just went up against him. So I know Lively, he's a pretty low usage center, but definitely worth a stab if you're messing with something like that from the side. Going over here to New Orleans Pelicans on the other side of this game. Of course, with CJ being out, but at least we got Brandon Ingram, we got Zion back. All these guys are actually in some pretty decent spots. Might be the first game that I might actually take a stab at Zion. We have seen that opposing power forwards, he's in an 8-8, have actually done pretty decent. Kawhi Leonard, Siakam, Paolo Banchero, all of them dropped 35 plus fantasy points going up against them. So the usage should definitely be there. We know that they're going to need him to actually score. Definitely a position that you can go to. Now, if you want to save 300, don't mind coming out here to BI. He's rightfully so. It's 1 and 2 between these two in regards to who's going to have the usage and who's going to go out here and do what they got to do. A lot of the points, of course, is going to come from either one of these players. They're going to have to. They have no choice. They're the main two for this team now with CJ McCollum being out, and sometimes you can rely on Jonathan Valanciunas if he's not going to get himself into foul trouble. But mainly between Zion and BI, don't mind either one of these guys. Really a decent spot for both of them in what should be a close and competitive game. Hawkins, way too much. 5'9", not going to play that. Not going to mess with that. I would come down to Dyson Daniels if I want to mess with anything. We know Dyson, he's going to come out there. He's going to get the run as the backup point guard. Maybe they might actually start Dyson Daniels over Hawkins. Wouldn't be surprised if they did. Definitely would be worth it at 5'3" over that ridiculous price tag. Going over here, Denver taking on Houston. Like I've already said, we already know it's the Joker. Matchup is there. Usage is there. Everything. It's just there. The Joker for me, main play with no Jamal Murray, the usage and everything that he has, it's ridiculous. I want to say in the first two games, yeah. Well, shoot, he's dropped 68 plus in the last 4 games, but the 2 games without Jamal Murray playing, 79 and 67 fantasy points. I will take that security. This is pretty much Giannis right here on today's slate. I will take the security in the Joker. We already know he's going to have to do everything. In Houston, they haven't been slouches so far this season, so definitely worth a stab. Mess with that right there. Outside of that, you can always go down, mess with maybe taking a stab at Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. if you want to, if you land there in the power forward, small forward position spot. But they're not must or anything like that, but definitely worth a stab if you go there. It's really just a Joker or nothing else for me for the Denver Nuggets. Going over here to Houston, I honestly have no interest in anybody from this side. None at all whatsoever. Now, I know that Şengün, he had decent game. He put 52 one time going up against the Joker last season. But outside of that, I'm not messing with anything from the Houston side. I really have no interest. They shouldn't be able to hang with them, but I know they will hang with them. But yeah, no, there's no need. Not on a 7-game slate. Going over to my OKC Thunder, taking on the Phoenix Suns. Primarily, it's just going to be Chet, would be how I kind of look at it. Chet going up. He's played against KD in the summer. You know that he's had some pretty decent games. The production that he's actually been able to give since he's been out here on the court, it's been phenomenal. I understand 30 minutes going up against the Kings didn't do too much, but if you look at the history of opposing centers going up against the Phoenix Suns so far this season, it's been great. As far as I can see, it's all green. AD, Vucevic, Duran, Joel Embiid, Zach Collins, all of them at least dropped 35 plus fantasy points going up against Nurkic defense. So I definitely will take that, especially for a player in Chet that can stretch the floor, definitely can rebound a little bit better than what he's shown. The defensive upside, the blocks that he can definitely get, I love that. I will be interested to see if he actually matches up with KD a little bit, considering they are kind of same in stature. Of course the slimness and everything, and they played against each other during the summer. Chet has worked out with him, so it'll be interesting to see that matchup from a fan perspective. But DFS perspective, I still do like Chet, and then of course SGA. You already know the consistency and everything that he comes with. I'm not scared of a Bradley Beal defense or anyone that they actually have there at the point guard or 2 guard position that they can even try to guard him with. And if you want to take a stab on the up and up in regards to Josh Giddey figuring it out, this is a deep GPP play. He's going to figure it out eventually. The biggest thing is Josh trying to understand where he meshes and goes into this team. The assist, it's lower than what it should be for him, especially with all the players that he has out there that he can actually dish the rock to, the shooters that we actually have finally this season. The production for him, it will uptick, and I really kind of feel like it's going to be towards the end of November, beginning of December, because it's kind of the same thing that we saw last year. So a little tidbit for you guys as the season continues to push on. But Chet, main play that I would take if I'm taking anyone over here from the OKC Thunder. Going over here to the Phoenix, going over here to the Suns, Bradley Beal, if he plays, I don't mind it. Devin Booker, I would expect, yeah, he's still expected to be doubtful, so not gonna mess with Booker. But Beal, he's probable. Let's make sure he played 32 minutes last game, so I really don't mind that. If we can get a low owned Beal sitting at 6,800, if you're gonna tell me Beal's gonna play about 35 minutes against my fast paced Thunder and everything else that we do, I will take that all day, every day. Love that for Beal, 6'8", really great price tag. Do not mind that at all. Of course, you can't go wrong with Kevin Durant, 10-3. It's gonna be your choice of which 2 studs you're gonna pay it for. If you want to go with Joker and a Kevin Durant, you want to go with Luka, Kevin Durant. Definitely makes sense. The usage, everything that dude has, even with Beal playing, should still be able to put up some decent numbers. Has dropped 50 plus practically in 4 straight games, so I don't mind that at all. And opposing power forwards going up against us, they've also had some really great games playing against us, especially those that can actually shoot. Outside of that, you can take a stab at Nurk. He should be able to overpower Chet as long as he doesn't get himself into foul trouble. He definitely can go out here and average a double, not even average, get a double, yank the rebounds. That's one thing that we are lacking at, is rebounding ourselves. We're not doing too hot on the rebounding on the glass, on the boards, and as you can see the other night with Sabonis, he yanked down a shit ton of rebounds. So definitely worth a look right there if you want to mess with someone else outside of Beal and Durant for the Suns. Going over to the next game, we got the Timberwolves taking on the Golden State Warriors. Remember, the Warriors are on a back-to-back. If I'm taking anything from Minnesota, I mess with Karl-Anthony Towns. It's time. It's due. He's probably sitting there at the low 8K price tag, price range. He's coming off a 48.5 fantasy point game in his last game out. I definitely can. We could dabble here. We've seen opposing power forwards. They've done decent. They've done all right. Aaron Gordon dropped 41. Isaiah Stewart dropped 40. Evan Mobley, even though he didn't have the greatest shooting night last night, dropped 31 and 37 in his 2 matchups going against him. So I definitely do not mind taking a chance on the stretch big and Karl-Anthony Towns right here. And if you want to mess with it, Rudy Gobert, the price 7-1. I really do not mind that at all. Definitely could see him snagging the rebounds, but we do know he can get cooked in regards to if they try to make him stretch the floor. And then outside of that, of course, Anthony Edwards. I don't like his price at 9-1. That's just a bit too much for me. I definitely believe that he will go lower owned just because of the price and how high he's sitting. But if you know anyone that's going to actually shoot and try to keep inside the game, it will be Ant-Man at the end of the day. Going over here to the other side of the Warriors, for me, it's just Steph Curry, no one else. I really don't have any interest on anyone else outside of Curry for the Warriors, unless we get some news that someone's going to rest or sit, which we still haven't gotten that to this day. Draymond Green, of course, he's going to be back. He should actually play his full allotment of minutes besides getting ejected, as long as he doesn't kick someone else in the nuts here or shove someone in the back being extra. Draymond Green should play his full allotment of minutes tonight. Going over to Portland, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I said, Brogdon, he's going to be out. Sharp, Grant, Ayton, Mays, these are going to be your starters out of everybody. It's just going to be Jeremy Grant. The usage and everything this dude has. I got a low on Jeremy Grant the last time he was on the slate when he played against the Kings. Beautiful. Love it. 6.25 fantasy points. His scoring is going to be needed. We know he's going to go out there. He's going to stroke it. He can take the threes. The rebounding, the defensive upside, all that is going to be there for him. And opposing power forwards going up against the Lakers have actually done really well versus them. If you want to believe in DeAndre Ayton, that he can figure out his life, that he can actually play with some aggression and some dog in him, be my guest. But I'm not even going to test that with a 10-foot pole. Never. Not even in this day and age. I will not mess with that. It'll just be Jeremy Grant be the main one that I want to go to here for me over here on Portland. And then on the Los Angeles Lakers side, if a LeBron James, if he sits, let's see, so due to left calf contusion, I would expect Bron to sit, especially being that it's a left picked up the latest injury. Yeah, being that it's a calf contusion, be safe. I mean, the dude's old as hell. I wouldn't be surprised. And the fact that 80 is probable means that 80 should play. So Anthony Davis is pretty much going to be your second stud lock outside of the Joker or Luka in regards to the slate. So Anthony Davis, lock. Just go ahead, lock it in. I definitely do believe that Brown will sit. That's the mindset I'm going to go with. You can definitely come down, mess with a play like Austin Reeves or D'Lo. Either one of those guys should be able to have a good game going up against the poor defense of Portland. So everybody's in play, but the main guy is going to be Anthony Davis that we're going to want to get to right there. All right, guys, that's going to be a breakdown. If you guys want to play pool course, cheat sheet, all that other stuff that I put out, check the link down in the description below for the Dub Club. Hopefully you guys cash out. Hopefully everyone has a really great day. Peace.